Hello and welcome to another video. I had a interesting request from an Alliance member today where, he's kind of not sure as to why this individual won a fight. I have a feeling I know what it is, but I haven't actually really done any kind of deep dive on the report. I really just clicked on it and noticed that, again, we have this kind of scenario where fleet size is comparable, right? It's within that 10,000 mark. And he got smashed. And so when I was going to click on this, I was assuming that, this guy was going to have really high stats. And the opponent has, decent melee hit points at 150, right? 230% long range, which is, I don't know, a bit low, but, it's doable. Defense stats are all pretty normal. Increased damage, and does he even have reduced damage? Increased damage. He doesn't have damage reduction. So, it looks like he does have some damage increase, but no actual damage reduction. And this is my boy Don Padre. Fleet-wise, could use some work, right? He's sending a lot of T9s. So that's generally about a 17% reduction in stats. His long range is pretty decent, 288, right? 130. So it looks like stat-wise, Don Padre has a bit more attack. And his actual, troops aren't going to be opposed in the increased damage space, right? Because this guy doesn't have any damage reduction. So that's going to be another 8% on top of that. So, we're looking at a situation where he has 230. I think it's the troops. Let's see. Reduce damage by 5%. So if our opponent has that 10%, let's say 10.5 to make math easy, there's a 5% reduction to that 10% damage increase. So effectively, this gentleman would be somewhere around 230, 10% would be 23. Cut that in half would be 12, right? So he's sitting at around 250. So the big difference in everything has to come down to this fleet, right? The fleet, he's sending a lot of T10s. T10. Actually, he's almost exclusively sending T10s, minus a couple of zombies and, 4 axemen, which didn't really help him at all. So the T10 laser cannon and the T10 snipers did a lot of work this fight. When we watch that report, Don Padre doesn't have nearly enough shredders. And he doesn't have nearly enough T10 troops. Those cannons are doing great work, but the T9 cannons, although good killers, don't really hold up against the T10 EMP lasers, these ones that kind of sit right here in front of the male Titan. So that is the big difference, is he doesn't have enough front line to hold up against this. And so that is why he lost this fight. And I think the big thing that I would want to see is all of these T9 tanks, all of these T9 troops, all of them. I want to see them all gone. T8s, I shouldn't even see a T8, right? T7, T5. That's a huge stat difference. I forgot to look at Titans. His got level 17, level 16, 14,000. So his Titans are better. So yeah, it looks like the opposing force in this particular instance lost won due to a better fleet and the higher tier troops with the stats that increases. So the big troop type, right, when we're talking about these T10 troops, is you're looking at the stats of the sniper, right? If you compare this to a T9 cannon, you're looking at 5. Each cannon is 5 units, so 5 snipers would equal 1 cannon. That gives you approximately 1,030 on the attack there for 1 cannon worth. So these T9 cannons here are 893. So you're looking at a net difference of about 100 attack. And again, when you're talking about that 100 and these 1,000 ranges, that's a 10% stat difference. So your opponent naturally gets 10% more, and then you include the 5% additional on top of that. His effective long-range attack is a lot higher. This gets even more scary when you consider the fact that 2 of these cannons, which would be what I'm going to say 1,800 for ease, compared to a single laser cannon is 2,112. So if you're looking at a 300% difference for equal troops, that right there between the T10 EMP cannon here versus those T9 cannons is massive. It's catastrophically big. So, you know, it just kind of goes to show you that this is the better or the more superior troop despite conventional wisdom. I highly, highly, highly recommend if you're a C30, you're recruiting these. Even when you start getting into like your T11 troops and you're looking at these shielders, right? The shielders don't do a lot of damage. I wouldn't even get a ton of these. I'd still be recruiting the T10 cannons until you can get to your T12s. Because the T12 EMP cannon is by far and away the best unit in the game. So, hope that helps everyone. Again, these battle reports get tricky. In this particular instance, it came down to not just stats, but also what you're sending. I think he lost due to fleet. So with the same fleet or a better fleet, I actually think that fight would be much closer, if not in his favor. So, thank you guys for watching, and I appreciate all the feedback you can give me in the comments. Have a great rest of your day.